In November 2025, India's Ministry of Electronics and Information Technology made its position very clear. No separate AI law was needed, existing rules were enough. Fast forward to July 2026, just 8 months later, and the same ministry is saying the opposite. IT Secretary S. Krishnan told reporters that the time has now come for a separate legislation for AI. What changed? The answer tells us a lot about how fast the AI risk landscape is moving and what India is preparing for. The proposed law would classify AI systems by risk level and match the rules to that risk. At the bottom of the risk ladder you have chatbots, productivity tools and recommendation systems. These would face minimal regulation. Light touch, get on with it. At the top of the ladder you have AI used in banking, finance, healthcare and critical infrastructure. These would face serious obligations, safety audits, mandatory disclosures, and something no one in the AI world was expecting from India, a kill switch. This is the most striking part of what is being proposed. The government wants the power to order a company to disable a dangerous AI system in an emergency, not fine it, not warn it, switch it off. On top of that, companies may be required to hand over technical information about how their model works during such an emergency. This is a significant shift in how we think about AI accountability in India. You are not just responsible for what your AI does. You may be required to prove how it works on demand and shut it down if ordered. The framework would not be one size fits all. Sectoral regulators like the Reserve Bank of India, SEBI, and IRDAI would each get to write their own AI rules for their sectors. What this means in practice is that if you are building AI for lending decisions, investment advice, or insurance underwriting, you will not just answer to one regulator. You will answer to your sector regulator, who will have their own AI compliance playbook. The compliance burden for high-risk sectors is going to be layered and sector-specific. That is a fundamentally different challenge from a single national standard. India's proposed model mirrors the European Union's AI Act in structure, but not in force. Both use risk tiers, both ease rules for low-risk AI, but the EU AI Act is binding law. Its August 2026 deadline for high-risk AI systems is live right now. India's framework is still being drafted. No consultation paper exists yet. What makes India's version different is the kill switch power. The EU does not frame it the same way. India is proposing something more direct. The government can order you to turn it off. Whether that becomes law remains to be seen, but the intent is clear. If you are building a chatbot or a productivity tool, this law as proposed would barely touch you. Low risk means low compliance. But if you are building AI that makes decisions about money, health, or access to services, your world is about to change. You will need to document how your model works. You will need to be ready for audits. And you will need to be able to explain your AI to a regulator who may have very specific sector requirements. The compliance gap between low-risk and high-risk AI startups is going to widen dramatically once this law comes into force. The time to prepare is now, not after the draft lands. Here is the honest answer on timing. There is no draft bill. There is no consultation paper. There is no announced deadline. What we have is a clear signal from the IT Secretary that separate legislation is being considered, and an expectation from analysts that a public consultation paper or Digital India Act text with explicit AI risk tiers could surface before the end of 2026. The next thing to watch for is MateY releasing a draft for public comment. When that happens, Indian AI companies will have a short window to shape what the final law looks like. That window matters. 3 things. First, figure out which risk tier your AI product will fall into. If it touches banking, health, insurance, or critical infrastructure in any meaningful way, start treating yourself as high risk now. Second, begin documenting how your models work. Explainability is no longer optional in high-risk sectors. Third, watch for the public consultation. When MateY releases a draft, submit your response. The companies that engage early have the most influence over how the rules are written. India's AI law is coming. The only question is whether you will be ready when it does.